Ready? Where did we stop Nana yesterday? Material variances are done, right? We'll just revise it one more time, okay? Okay, mix and yield variance we did not finish, logics and all. Right. Okay then. Today we'll finish off all the variances concepts, okay? Where is this? Today, honestly, while seeing it, I felt one thing that we are pretty much unfortunate that we are not born in that era. No, we should be part of something such great. Serious, it has that sort of an impact. Nena, almost like 20 minutes, I did not talk to anybody. Right, Anna, shall we start? So, material variances. Ready, Nana? So, you know that material cost variance will be divided into two. What are they? Price variance. Guys, all of you participate. Price variance and usage variance. Now, this will be further divided into what, Nana? Mix variance as well as what, Nana? Yield variance. Correct? Give me the formulas 1, 2, 3, and 4. Correct? What is the first one, guys? SQ into SP. Second one, AQ into AP. Third one, AQ into SP. Fourth one, RAQ into SP. Are you able to get me? Now, what about the formulas here? 1 minus 2, 3 minus 2, 1 minus 3, 4 minus 3, and 1 minus 4. Correct? Kya all of you. All right. Yesterday we have seen logics for everything except for mix as well as yield variance. Okay, now listen carefully. How many of you are fond of jewelry? Kya jewelry. How many of you like gold jewelries, platinum, diamond? Okay, anyway, my free advice is except for gold, don't buy anything, especially platinum and diamond. Okay, because I personally feel that based on whatever the facts that I've come across, that its demand is artificially created. It's not really that. Yeah. Okay, so gold is the only one that has got real intrinsic value. Got it? Just a piece of advice. You can follow, otherwise, you need not. Chalo, once you become CA, you'll do all those things. Okay, anyway. Right now. So we know that it is a gold plus copper alloy. Correct? Will give you whatever the jewelry that you generally buy. Right? It's an alloy. Solid alloy. Correct? Kya Okay, now we know that the raw metals are gold and copper, which means it is more than one type of raw metal. Correct? So obviously, when there is more than one type of raw metal, what is the thing? Exactly. So it's gonna be giving rise to something called mix as well as yield variance. Are you able to understand? Okay, now the question is how this is going to work. So now see it carefully. What do you mean by mix variance? Say for example, gold and copper is there. Okay. And it is being said that gold should be mixed 80% and copper should be mixed in the ratio of what? 20%. Let's say this is the standard mix. What is this? Okay, let's say that is the criteria. Whereas when it comes to actuals, okay, gold was mixed only 75% and copper was utilized as how much, Rana? 25%. Now tell me, because of this, gold usage has got reduced, copper usage has got increased, which ultimately led to something called what variance? Usage variance. But what was the reason behind this usage variance? What is the reason? Change in what, Nana? Mix. Change in what, Nana? Mix. Because the mix that I thought was 80% and 20%, whereas the actual mix is 75% and 25%. Correct? Therefore, because of change in mix, your usage of gold has got reduced, your usage of copper has got increased, and thereby leading to something called usage variance. So basically, what you need to understand is these two are reasons. This is reason 1 and reason 2 for what variance, Nana? Usage variance. Carry, are you able to understand? Why there is usage? What do you mean by usage variance? First of all, I either consume more gold or less gold. or I either consume more copper or less copper. Why? Why did you consume more copper than what we have anticipated or what we have expected? The answer is either due to change in mix or due to change in yield. Already mixed logic I've told you here, correct? Next logic is what, Nana? Yield. So what do you mean by yield? In jewelry, generally you'll be hearing about these terms called wastage, correct? Actually, they earn profit from that only, na? You need to understand business model of everybody. For example, you have Central here. What is their business model? Hyderabad Central. Advertisement, business model. Clothes here. Central. So basically, it's a real estate business model. What do you? I mean, they sell all those different types of brands, right? They give it on rentals. That space will be sold on rentals to different brands. Actually, that's their business model. Your Amazon, Flipkart, and all. What is their basic business model? Okay, you know that they try to. Yeah, but actually they earn profit from the data that they sell, which they get through you. Are you able to understand? Similarly, when it comes to these kind of guys who actually do it, they actually what they try to do is, uh, what do you say? They try to get majority of the profits from the wastage that they say whenever you try to buy a jewelry. When they say that okay, 25% is the making charges, 18% is the making charges, 12% is the making charges. Are you able to understand? From there only they try to get their main pie of the profits. Are you able to understand? Kya re? So going with that logic, let's say 100 is the input, standard loss is 10%, which means your output should have been 90. This is standard figures. Coming on to your actual figures, the actual standard loss has been 20%, which means your output would have been 80. Or to get the same output as 90, your input should have got increased, which means you should have considered, say, for example, just for example, okay, 110, kya, which means your usage has got increased here, correct? Due to what? Due to change in yield, because your yield your yield has got dropped, correct? Kya. All right. So because of drop in yield, again you get something called usage variance, correct? But what is the reason behind this usage variance? Obviously, change in what, Nana? Change in what? Yield. Are you able to understand? Are bol here. All right. Okay. So now we have done with understanding the actual conceptual logic behind mix as well as what, Nana? Yield variance. Now let's go for the formulas. Now see. Okay, coming on with the formulas. What are the formulas you have got? Mix or yield variance is obviously part and parcel of usage variance. And usage variance means we have already seen it yesterday, that it is difference in quantity multiplied with the price. So what quantity and what quantity? Difference between standard quantity and actual quantity. Standard quantity and actual quantity multiplied with price. What price remains constant? Standard price. Correct? Yesterday we have already seen the logics. Now, but coming on to mix and yield variance, you have got more than those quantities, correct? Which means it is not SQ and AQ. You have a new one called RAQ as well, correct? Now let's try to understand how these formulas have come. Already we know the logic. Now let's go with the formulas. So you have something called gold and copper. Let's say gold is 150, copper is 50. This is your standard mix where the total should be how much? 200. Coming on to actuals, let's say 220, 80, 300. Okay. Now, what is RAQ? RAQ means actual quantity should be rewritten in standard proportion. So, actual quantity is how much? 300. This should be rewritten between gold and copper in what proportion, Anna? Standard. What is the standard mix here? 3 is to 1. Kya re? So, 3 is to 1 ratio, you distribute this. Tell me how much it comes? 200, 100. Correct? Which means your RAQ will be 200 and 100. The total is going to be how much? 300. Are you able to get me? Kya re? Alright. Now, let's try to understand the logics. Now, we'll start with mix variance now. See, what did I tell you about mix variance? Mix should change, correct? Kya re? And yield will be constant. Also, price will be constant. Which price will be constant? Standard price. Kya re? Aisa what? Are you able to get me? Now, mix should change means, now see here, mix variance. Between these two, is mix is changing? Yes. Why? Because this is in standard mix 3 is to 1. This is obviously not 3 is to 1. It is an actual mix. Correct? But what did I say? Mix must change, but yield has to remain what? Constant. Is yield constant here? No, yield is also changing, 200 and 300. Therefore, this is not your answer. Now compare these two. Is a mix changing? Yes, because this is in actual mix and this is in standard mix, which is 3 is to 1. Correct? So mix is changing and your yield is what, Nana? Constant. So which means for mix variance, what is the formula? It is the difference between RAQ and what? AQ. And which one remains constant? Price remains constant. What price? Standard price. You got bol ray. Right. Coming on to yield variance. Yield variance means what is the logic? Yield must change. Correct? Arey bol here. And which should remain constant? Mix should be constant. Along with that, standard price also will be constant. Correct? Now let's try to follow the same logics here. Now tell me where between what quantities here your yield is changing and mix is constant. For example, you see here your yield is changing. Yes, because here it is 200. Here it is what? 300. Your mix is constant. No, this is in standard mix. This is in what, Nana? Actual mix. क्या ऐसा what? So this is not my answer. Now comparing AQ and RAQ, your yield is what? Constant. First of all, yield itself is not changing. So this is also not your answer, correct? Now you compare these two, SQ and RAQ. SQ is in standard mix. RAQ is also in standard mix, correct? Both. This is 3 is to 1. This is 3 is to 1, correct? Carry and which means mix is constant. So this condition is satisfied. And if you compare these two, yield is changing. Is it changing? Yes. So therefore, difference between SQ and RAQ is nothing but what variance, Nana? Yield variance. Of course, multiplied with price. What price? Standard price, because standard price remains constant. Are you able to get me? So the logics are quite a bit simple. Everything is made on a purpose. Now you can clearly understand why RAQ was formed. Because try to think. If I need to calculate mix variance, I need something where your mix must be changing, but your yield should be constant, correct? Between SQ and AQ, I don't have that comfort, right? Because both yield as well as mix, both of them are changing. So I need to create another variable where my quantity should be same, which is yield must be same and only mix must be changing. Thereby I take AQ and I change only the mix, keeping the quantity constant. Thereby AQ and RAQ, the difference we can calculate that as mix variance. Arey bol here. Same logic applies to yield also. To calculate yield variance, my yield must change and mix must remain constant. But the problem with SQ and AQ is both of them are changing. Therefore, I calculate RAQ where I can take the difference between SQ and RAQ where your yield changes because this is SQ and that is AQ. Whereas your mix remains what? Constant, because SQ is in standard mix, RAQ is also in standard mix. So that is why intentionally a new quantity called RAQ was created. Because our basic intention behind all the formulas are one should change and everything else has to be constant. To satisfy that formula and make the number meaningful, we have created something called what, Nana? RAQ based on this logic. Are you able to get me? Are bol here? So that's the logic behind what, Nana? Mix as well as yield variance. You got it? You got to copy anything? Which one? This one, huh? Copy this. Meanwhile, those who have copied, you revise that, Nana. Copy. Correct. Chart. I did not understand what you're trying to say. Chart yesterday only you have copied, na. This one, na. You have copied yesterday, na. That's why we should revise, na. After class, straight away, we should not go to biryani shop. Or we should not go to advanced IDT and have pulihora over there. You know? Your advanced IDT is done. Tomorrow is the last day. What about those fellas, your friends? That book fellow is with that book only. Chalo. But guys, I told you a few movies, right? I don't know whether I've told you or not. Analagur is one movie, Whiplash is one movie, Pursuit of Happiness. Did I tell you that? Keep those movies in your mobiles, okay? So whenever you feel a little bit like losing, you better watch those movies. And I would rather ask you to include Saira also. Although it is not on par with them, but still, it will inspire you a lot. Yeah. You guys have seen it, na? How many of you have seen? Pursuit of Happiness, you would have seen. Whiplash, that also you see. Pursuit of Happiness also you see, Nana. Whenever we feel that, why God, why all this hardships to me? If you see Pursuit of Happiness, you'll understand. Definitely, you'll open selfie camera immediately after that, and you know what you'll do. Kya re? You know, na, in that movie, he'll go through extreme stress before he sees success. Correct? Especially, ah, somebody would have gave you biryani at that time. In that one scene, you can see that he'll not be getting sufficient light to study and all. He'll stand and there will be a window on the top. From that, little bit of light will be falling, and then he'll keep this book like that and then he'll study. Extreme amount of exam also, because of lack of time, he'll write the exam in half the time and then he'll start running. The basic qualities that you have to learn from these kind of movies are never give up. You understand the point? Just in one scene where he'll be painting his apartment and then he'll not be able to pay parking ticket and thereby he'll be arrested, and he'll be with that kind of weird look only, everything paint all over the body and stuff like that. And then once he is released in the next day morning, he has to attend the interview for stockbroker, that to apprenticeship. He runs for almost like 2 miles, if I'm not wrong, with that dress only, and he attends the interview and cracks it also. That sort of attire. And then he doesn't have any money, still he works it down, and it's a great movie. Those are all the things that we should see it repeatedly. Aanaluguru is one movie where it will give you a lot of positivity. Aanaluguru, Mokku fellow. You don't know that movie also. He will say Nayak 2, Racha 2 and all. Aanaluguru, the best point of that film is it will give you a lot of positivity to be seen in this world. Whenever you feel that, okay, the world is full of negativity and you feel like not talking to anybody else, that movie will really guide you to see positivity in everything. Extreme positivity. Kya re, Pranay? Hey, these things really matters, re Pranay. Why? Because copied, huh? Now copy this. In that, what sort of motivation you have got? Like movies, within one song, nothing will happen, Nana. In Whiplash, also, there will be one scene where it's a movie about teacher and student actually. Okay, and how teacher makes the student successful. That's the movie is all about. Of course, it's on musical journey, but it will be brilliant actually. In one scene, he'll be going for the concert, and the time is up actually, so he has to go fast. As a result, he tries to drive a little bit recklessly, and then gets hit by a truck, and then the car is completely damaged, and he starts bleeding from his head and all, and he just tries to get up, and the next thing that he does is, "Arre re, I got stuck by an accident, and what's gonna happen? I'm not able to stand also." Nothing comes to his mind. There is a concept, and then I have to attend that. He just runs for it. There's one scene also where he tries to drum. He's a drummer basically. He keeps on drumming for that particular tune where it has to be really sensitive and fast. This gets cut actually, you know, because of severe drumming. And then what he does is that keeps his hand in pool of what is that, ice cubes, and puts a bandage, and again he starts. Then after that there will be a bigger cut, and again he puts it and put two straps and again start drumming. You'll understand that, okay, to achieve your dream, to what extent you can take pain actually, and what really people does, because we only see the success, right? We don't see what's behind the scenes, you know. Kya re? Even for me also, I think before PCC result, I think so. Almost like 1 week I didn't eat anything because of the tension. Almost 1 week, I think so. I was like a dead being only. Chalo, copy. That's what. Chalo, copied. Are we done with this? Carry all of you. Chalo, no. Let's move on to the next one, labor variance. Ready? Okay. So labor cost variance will be divided into two. Labor rate variance, labor efficiency variance. This will be further divided into two when there is no idle time. That is labor mix variance and labor yield variance. Labor mix variance can also be called as gang variance. It can also be called as substitution variance. Yield variance doesn't have any other name. Sometimes it is also called as sub efficiency. Okay. Now this classification what I gave you right now is without idle time. What happens if there is idle time, I'll tell you. But this is what Nana without idle time. Are you able to get me? क्या रे? Right, guys, give me the formulas. You have already learned the formulas for material variance. The formulas are going to be same here. Okay. क्या रे? Now just give me the formulas once. What are the formulas? Are this one here. 1 minus 2, 3 minus 2, 1 minus 3, 4 minus 3, and 1 minus 4. Nana, by this time you should have learned Nana. Okay. Let's write all the four formulas. So it is quite a bit simple. When it comes to material variance, we have quantity and price. When it comes to labor variance, we have hours and rate. Hours and rate. Okay, so it's gonna be what? SH into SR per hour. Next, AH into AR per hour. Next, AH into SR per hour. Next, RAH into SR per hour. Are you able to get me? क्या रे? The logics, everything, it remains exactly the same the way we have learned for material variance. For example, Nana, you people tell me. Labor rate variance. What is the logic? Rate must change and efficiency, that is number of hours, must remain constant. Rate must change means what rate and what rate, standard rate and actual rate difference. Multiplied with efficiency should remain constant or hours must remain constant. Which hours will remain constant? Actual hours. Similar to actual output. Kya re? Coming on to efficiency variance, what should change? Hours must change. Which hours and which hours? Standard hours and actual hours. Difference between those two. And rate must rate must remain constant. Which rate will remain constant? Standard rate. Are you able to understand? And mix and yield variance also exactly the same. The only difference is, for example, you see here, you have SQ. In the place of SQ, who will come? SH will come. In the place of AQ, who will come? AH will come. In the place of RAQ, who will come? RAH will come. Exactly the same. You can call this as Gopi, one labor, and kya re? See, what is the name? Chandra, say for example, another labor. Everything else is same. Consider that as number of hours. 100, 150 hours, 50 hours, 220 hours, 80 hours. Kya re? Exactly the same. Logics are exactly the same. Are you able to understand? Arey, bol here. The only difference being in the place of quantity, you'll be getting hours. In the place of gold and copper, I've got Gopi and Chandra. That's it. More than that, nothing is there. And my logic remains the same. This part will come only when there is multiple labor. Correct? Like skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled, men and women. So only when there is multiple labor, you'll be getting mix as well as yield variance. Otherwise, you'll be stopping here with efficiency variance itself, and even the formula 4 will not come. Are you able to understand? I told you already this. Arey bol here, everything is same. And even these things are also same. For example, what is SH? Try to remember SQ. Try to remember SQ. What is SQ? Standard quantity of raw material required for actual output. That is finished goods, right? In other words, raw material allowed. Here also same logic. Standard hours of labor required for actual output of finished goods. What is SH? Standard hours of labor required for actual output of finished goods. Is that clear? Which is nothing but number of hours allowed. Their SQ is number of units of raw material allowed. Here SH is number of hours of labor allowed. Kya re? Are you able to understand? Chalo. RAH is same, revised actual hours. That is nothing but actual hours rewritten in standard proportion. It's as simple as that. Are you able to get me? Chalo. Now, okay, sir. If there is idle time, how this is going to change? So next classification will be based on idle time. How this works here? You should know that number of hours paid is equal to number of hours worked plus idle hours. Number of hours paid is equal to number of hours worked plus what, Nana? Idle hours. अरे क्या रे? ऐसा what? From this, what you have to understand is you not only pay for number of hours worked, but also you pay for idle hours. You not only pay for number of hours worked, but also you pay for idle hours. Are you able to understand? क्या रे? Based on this only, the entire classification is going to come. So now listen carefully. Ready? As usual, labor cost variance will be divided into two. Rate variance, efficiency variance. Till here it's going to be normal. But efficiency variance will be further classified into two. Labor idle time variance, labor revised efficiency variance. Labor revised efficiency variance will be further classified into two. Labor mix variance, labor yield variance. Now tell me one thing, mix variance I already told you different names. What are the different names? Substitution variance, gang variance. Is that clear? Yield variance means exactly sub efficiency. Here it will be sub revised efficiency. Anyway, formulas will be same. 1 minus 2, 3 minus 2, 1 minus 3. For idle time variance, it is idle hours into standard rate per hour. Revised efficiency variance is again 1 minus 3. This is 4 minus 3 and 1 minus 4. Now you'll be wondering what is the basic difference between all these formulae. Okay, now you listen carefully. I'll tell you the difference. You remember that equation that I gave you just now? What is the equation? Hours paid is equal to hours work plus idle hours. Correct? Remember this equation? Now based on that logic only we are going to see. Now listen carefully. This is 1 minus 3, but this is 1 minus 3 dash. This is 4 minus 3 dash. Now what is the difference between 3 and 3 dash? Let's try to see. Now 1 is nothing but SH into SR per hour. I hope all of you are aware of this, right? 2 is nothing but AH into AR per hour, correct? We are aware of this as well. 3 is nothing but AH into SR per hour. We are aware of this as well. 3 dash is also AH into SR per hour and 4 will be RAH into SR per hour. Now where the difference comes, let us see. I'll take another ink. Now listen carefully. This is AHP. What is that? AHP. AHP means actual hours paid. This is also AHP. Here it is actual hours paid. But here it is actual hours worked. This is AHW. That is the difference. Now the logic is quite a bit simple. Here you have actual hours paid. From that, if you remove idle hours, you'll be getting actual hours worked only. It's as simple as that. Correct? Kya re? 1 minus 3 here it is actual hours paid. From that, if you remove idle hours, that is this one, what you'll be left over is nothing but actual hours worked. Correct? That's why it is 3 dash. And here RAH is also revised actual hours worked only. Why? Because from this is actual hours worked only. Na? From actual hours worked only, you are classifying further into mix variance and yield variance, which means here also it should be actual hours worked only. Yes, what? Therefore, it is revised actual hours worked. Now, this is the difference that you need to know. Is that clear? So, if you put it very simple, it is completely dependent upon the equation which I gave you just now. What is that equation? Hours paid is equal to hours paid is equal to hours work plus idle hours. That is, this is hours paid, which is equal to idle hours plus hours worked. Kya re? Are you able to get me? Right, chalo, that's it. Copy. First of all, did you copy this one? Yes, all of you? Are bol rahe na? All of you. Did you copy this one? Yeah. Okay, now see here. Depending upon the question, we have to adjust ourselves when we are trying to solve this. Is it clear? For example, in a question, there is no idle time. There is no multiple labor. Then what will be your classification? Labor cost variance will be divided into rate variance and efficiency variance. And only three formulas will come. If there is idle time, then what will happen? Labor cost variance will be divided into rate and efficiency. Efficiency will be further divided into idle time and revised efficiency, and you will stop there. And the formulas will be again three. If idle time is there in the question as well as multiple labor is there, then this whole thing will come. Whatever the classification that I've shown you. Kya re? Everything will come. What if idle time is not there but multiple labor is there? Then this classification will come. Multiple labor is there, but which is not there? Idle time. Then it will be labor cost variance divided into rate and efficiency, which will be further divided into mix and yield. Are you able to understand? So, read the question, say what sort of information is given, and accordingly we'll be able to do. Clear? Kya re? Right. This one also you have copied? Arey bol rahe na? Chalo, let's move on to the next one. Variable overhead variances. Guys, next one. Variable overhead variances. Are we done? Yes? Okay, so what do you mean by variable overhead variances? Pretty simple. See here. Variable overhead cost variance will be divided into two. Expenditure, efficiency, 1 minus 2, 3 minus 2, 1 minus 3. Are we done with this? Kya re? Okay, coming on to formula, one particular point is very important here. When it comes to what? Which variances, Nana? Variable overhead variance. Before you get into calculating variable overhead variances, these two numbers are pretty damn important. What are they? Standard rate per hour and standard rate per unit. Nana, these two are pretty important for calculating overhead related variances. It can be variable overheads or it can be what? Fixed overheads. Pretty damn important. Are you able to get me? Without knowing SR per hour as well as SR per unit, don't even try to solve a sum which is based on overhead variance calculation. Once you know SR per hour and SR per unit, the overhead variance based calculation will become a lot easier than not knowing them. Is it clear? Therefore, your first job should be, whenever you read the question and he has asked you to calculate overhead variances, first you have to get into that and see whether SR per hour or SR per unit is directly given. Sometimes it will be directly given, sometimes it will not be directly given, but then we have to use a formula to calculate. Is it clear? Then what formula we need to use? Common sense. Standard rate per hour is nothing but budgeted variable overheads divided by budgeted hours. Correct? Standard rate per unit is nothing but budgeted variable overheads divided by budgeted output. Correct? Quite a bit simple. Kya re? Standard means it is nothing but budgeted, right? Initially. Per unit, I told you. Aisa what? So that formula you apply, you'll get the number. Now, coming on to these formulas. Now listen carefully. Usual formulas will be exactly similar to labor related formulas. What do you mean by that? Tell me. As per labor variances, what is the first formula? SH into SR per hour. Correct? Second one, AH into AR per hour. Correct? Third one, AH into SR per hour. Correct? Are kya re nana? Yes, this we already know because while calculating labor variance also, this is the same formula that we have seen. Yes, but this formula is based on time. We have another set of formulas based on output. Now you can ask me, sir, why there is a requirement of another set of formulas based on output? This formula is not sufficient for us to solve the sum. Yes, it is sufficient. Then why do we need another set of formulas? Only to make solving faster and easier. So it is faster and easier. It's not just one advantage, two advantages. You can do it fast, you can do it easy. Are you able to understand? So what is the other set of formulas? AO into SR per unit. Here AO into AR per unit. Here SO into SR per unit. Now you can ask me, what do you mean by this? Basically, these two formulas are exactly the same. How? I'll give you an example. Let's say your actual output is 1000 units. 1 unit, the time allowed is 2 hours, which means 1 unit should take 2 hours. Rate per hour is 10 rupees. So what will be your SH into SR per hour? Now tell me, what is SH? What is the full form of SH? Standard hours required for actual output of finished goods. So what is standard hours? Per unit it is 2 hours required for actual output of finished goods, which is how much? 1000 into standard rate per hour is how much? 10. Kya. Whereas here actual output is nothing but 1000 into what is rate per unit? Rate per unit is nothing but 1 unit will take 2 hours and per hour it is 10, which means per unit it's gonna be 20. Correct? If you can see exactly it is the same. 2 into 1000 into 10 is nothing but 1000 into 20. Correct? Are bol yaar. So then you can ask me, sir, if it is exactly the same, why are you doing another formula? Because most of the times actual output will be directly given in the question. So once I know standard rate per unit, which eventually I'll be calculating as a part and parcel of first step before I start calculating the variances, it will be very easy for me to calculate all these numbers, which is 1, 2 and 3. Are you able to understand? Are bol here. So the result, faster solving, easier solving, accurate solving. Now coming on to SO. What is SO? I already told you. What is SH? Standard hours required for actual output of finished goods. Then what is SO? Standard output for actual hours worked. Now you can ask me, sir, what is this, sir? Very simple logic. Suppose you have worked for 1500 hours. If at all you would have worked at my expectations, how much of output you should have made? If I have to say it in native language, ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు 1500 గంటలు పని చేసావు. నేను అనుకున్నట్టు నువ్వు పని చేస్తుంటే ఎంత అవుట్పుట్ తయారు చేసి ఉండాలి వర్సెస్ ఎంత అవుట్పుట్ తయారు చేసావు విల్ గివ్ మీ ఎఫిషియన్సీ వేరియన్స్. సో ఇన్ అదర్ వర్డ్స్, if at all you would have worked at my expected level of efficiency, how many units you should have manufactured, which is nothing but what will be my expectation? My expectation will be 100% efficiency. Are you able to understand? So you can always calculate efficiency of a person based on two logics. One is by comparing outputs, by comparing hours. So standard hours and actual hours. Actual hours is number of hours that you have taken. Standard hours is nothing but the number of hours that you should have taken. Will give me efficiency variance. Or SO and AO. Actual output is nothing but the actual output that you have actually manufactured versus SO means the output that you should have manufactured. Yes or what? Either way, I can calculate your efficiency variance. You understand the point? Now, out of these different sets of formula, what are the formula that will frequently used when we are solving sums? This one for formula 1, this one for formula 2, or it will be AVOH. What do you mean by AVOH? Actual variable overheads. Sir, that is not a formula, na, sir. It is not a formula. What I mean to say is actual variable overheads, most of the times it will be directly given in the question. So that will be our formula 2. Formula 3, this is what we'll use frequently. Formula 2, this is what we will use frequently. So which means for formula 1, our frequently used formula in most of the sums will be actual output into standard rate per unit. For formula 2, it's gonna be actual variable overheads, which means you are not going to calculate anything. Rather, it will be directly given in the question. Kya re? Formula 3, it's gonna be AH into SR per hour. Now here I've got it out. AH means what? AH is this? Actual hours paid or actual hours worked? You got to tell me. Use your brain, think, and then give me the number. Why? That's not the reason. AH means actual hours paid or actual hours worked. Just think, it's a very simple logic. You should get it. Little bit. Okay, it's very simple. Actual hours worked. Why actual hours worked? Array, only if you work, you'll manufacture output, nana. Only when output is there, variable cost will vary along with the output. It is variable overheads, na. Simple. Variable overheads means it is variable cost. What is the nature of variable cost? It varies proportionately along with the output. So first of all, output should be there to vary. So in ideal hours, anyway, there will be no output, which means variable overheads will not be incurred. So therefore, actual hours means it will be actual hours worked only. Bol re. You understand that? So just try to think, you'll get the answers. Otherwise, in examination, you should not get confused. Again, looking at AH, is it AHP or AHW? Gone. Are you able to understand? You got this? Chalo. Copied, huh? Those who have not copied, copy this. Guys, okay? Copied, eh? Full? Okay, next write the heading fixed order variances. If you have copied means I'll move on. Copied all of you? Yes? Right now.